Hey everyone, Rick Ucchino for Sportskeeda here once again. I'm really excited to be joined today by a woman who has become must-see television on Friday Night SmackDown, and I'm not just saying that because she pulls off a suit better than most of the men in the locker room. Sonya Deville joining me right now. Thank you very much for your time. How are you doing today?
What an intro. Thank you for that.
I do what I can. I try to make that I try to make that my trademark. And, I don't say things I don't mean, by the way. So when I say must-see TV, I mean that. When you get a microphone in your hand, I sit up and I pay attention because you have been spitting straight fire at Desire lately, and each star is kind of different when it comes to freedom on the microphone, or at least so I've heard. So, just how much input do you get, when it comes to the promos that you've been delivering on SmackDown in recent weeks?
Well, first, thank you. And secondly, to be honest, I get a lot of freedom. I'm blessed that, I think it's one of those things where once you prove yourself and they know that you can talk, who knows your character and your thoughts better than yourself, right? So, right. I've had really cool creative liberties to work with the writers and come up with some cool stuff and kind of say what I'm feeling the last few months.
Now, I know you and Mandy remain good friends outside of the ring, but I can't help but wonder just, how much of those promos just have a little bit of truth to them? Because you did spend years coming down to the ring to her music and being blurred out during her entrance and giving her the opportunity at Money in the Bank. So, how does it feel to get the chance these last few months to showcase yourself, to have the spotlight to yourself and get to cut these great promos every week?
I mean, it's the greatest feeling ever. Everyone can relate to what it feels like to be stuck in somebody's shadows, I feel like it's always like Lucy and Ethel, or, it's like there's always one that kind of outshines the other. And I feel like I was a part of Absolution, and it was me, Paige, and Mandy. And then it was Fire and Desire. It was me and Mandy. And like I've said, I walked out to her entrance music, and she kind of played more of the prominent role. So there's a certain amount of frustration that's real when you're living that. It's easy to translate into the character too. So it's been really fun to kind of let loose and use some of that real life emotion and put it into the work inside the ring.
Is there any awkwardness in this feud, with Mandy? In WWE, you say all these terrible things about her. You're attacking her backstage. Heck, you cut her hair off a couple weeks back. Outside of the company, though, you two are still great friends. So, how does that dynamic work out there?
We're not friends anymore. We don't talk. I've said this multiple times. We run a mutual business into Mandy's Donuts, and we communicate through our assistant, Ryan. So shout out to Ryan for allowing us to remain copacetic for the business sake.
All right, fair enough. So Sonya Deville, my guest here, and personally, I have been, on Team Deville for a while now, but I'm noticing, more and more people, recognizing the great work that you have been doing and realizing, how good that you are. Kind of hard to judge without fans present at these shows, but I truly believe that you would be getting some pretty positive reactions, despite, the antics that are going on in the ring and outside of the ring. Are you getting that same sense? What kind of feedback have you been getting from social media and the like?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like fans love it when they can feel the genuinity and the realness in someone's character or persona. And I mean, that's everything that I say, everything that I do, it comes from a real part of me, and it really is me. So I feel like fans are feeling that, and they're finally seeing what I've always known I'm capable of. I've always been a performer since I was young, and I've been a lifelong athlete and competitor. So I feel like I'm kind of just falling into my groove right now, and everyone's just starting to see it. But like I said, it's something I've always known that I was capable of. So it's fun to have the fans on that journey with me. They've seen it since day one, since Tough Enough until now. So I feel like they've kind of been able to grow with me and see the evolution alongside me. So it's been really cool.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting nowadays because, obviously you're playing the heel, you're trying to get the heat, you're trying to, work up a frenzy in the crowd. But, at the same time, if you're really good at it, you get great heat. But also if you're really good at it, the fans appreciate you for it and they start getting on your side. I wouldn't be shocked if, fans were pining for a babyface run at one point. Is that something that you think that you would prefer, or do you like, being the bad girl and just doing whatever you want?
At the end of the day, I'm going to go out there every single week I'm going to be who I am. I'm going to do me. You can love me. You can hate me. I really don't care. All I care about is if you're invested. And I could say that every single week that I've gone out there over the past 6 months, they've been invested and they've been listening. So that's all I could ask for. And like I said, love me or hate me, I really don't care.
All right, Sonya Deville, my guest. You debuted on the main roster, if that's still a copacetic phrase nowadays with NXT coming up. But you debuted on WWE programming 2017 alongside Mandy as part of Absolution. Now, you two were tabbed, in this group with Paige, who was returning from an injury at the time, which tells me that there was some pretty big plans, for that group. Paige coming back after more than a year off, and then unfortunately, she suffers the career-ending injury. Before things could really get rolling for you guys. Are you aware of what the long-term plans were for Absolution, or did you at least have a sense that, this faction was meant to be, something special for WWE programming?
Yeah, I think big things were definitely planning to happen with Absolution. I think from what I've heard at the time, everybody was really high on the group, and it was a cool dynamic. You had Paige with her star power and her individuality, and then you had, the blonde bombshell and Mandy, and then you had the badass fighter. So it was a cool little trio, and I think it could have done great things. Obviously, everything in life happens for a reason. I would never, I would love to have worked with Paige longer and continued to learn from her because she was so great to just to be around. I always talk about how confident and how laid back she was. She'd have this crazy segment coming up, and she'd be cracking jokes right before she went out, which kind of the opposite of how I am. I'm so intense the whole day usually and, focused. So it was cool to kind of be around her and just see that level of experience and confidence she had. So I would have loved to have worked with her more, but everything happens for a reason. And I think that, everything kind of played out how it should have, how it's meant to be,
Yeah, so following Paige's retirement, you and Mandy set out on your own, as we've talked about with Fire and Desire. You guys came close to capturing the women's tag team titles a few times, never did. Obviously, now you two are having one of the hottest feuds going on for SmackDown right now. Just getting so close to winning the tag team championships and not getting there has to be kind of just this itch that you needed to scratch. Obviously, you and Mandy at odds right now. Is there anybody else that you look on the landscape and say, yeah, I'd like to team with them, maybe go after the tag team championships, or is it all about Sonya Deville and your spotlight right now?
Absolutely not. It's all about Sonya Deville right now in my spotlight. I waited 5 years to not be in the shadows of Mandy, of Paige, to be on my own, to show the world what I'm capable of riding solo. So absolutely not. I'm going for the SmackDown Women's Championship, even the Raw Women's Championship. But I want the singles gold around my waist.
And that rolls into my next question. It feels like the storyline with Mandy is coming to a conclusion. Maybe not. I can't say for sure, but I will say I'm ready, to see Sonya Deville compete for championships, whether it is Bayley or Sasha. Those two have been running things for months now, being on all three brands. You alluded to it a little bit, but just talk a bit. You got to be chomping at the bit to get in the ring with one of these two with a championship on the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, as soon as I'm finished with Mandy, when I say finished with Mandy, I mean she's out of my life and out of this division, because that's my only goal in ruining her, is to get her away from me and to devalue her totally as a human. So when that is done and that is accomplished, I will move on to winning championship gold, because that's what I'm destined to do. And the only reason those two still have all the gold right now is because they haven't faced me yet. So, yes, that is my immediate future goal.
Now, the whole feud with Mandy started after, you were caught on camera trying to ruin, Otis's date, with Mandy. You succeeded a while there before being outed by this mysterious hacker, which I believe is the last time that we have seen him or her. Are you kind of surprised that the hacker's basically been dropped or disappeared? Is that something you'd like to see return to television right now?
I think they went away because they were scared I was going to beat them up. Because honestly, after doing that kind of crap, I mean, they were target enemy number one, but whatever. It served a purpose. I mean, Mandy had to know the truth eventually. I was trying to help her, so I don't even know why it was put together in that sketchy video package that made it look like I was plotting against her. I was trying to get her away from Otis, who who would want Mandy with Otis? I mean, come on. It's just not a match, and I've said that since day one. I was trying to get her with a nice, respectful gentleman in Dolph Ziggler, and I mean, come on.
There are quite a few fans out there, the bigger guys out there who want to live vicariously through Otis, I think.
Hey, no comment.
All right, Sonya, I know you are a SmackDown superstar, but Shane McMahon has said that there are no rules on Raw Underground. So much like Shayna Baszler, I think this is something that was tailor-made for you. What are your thoughts on Raw Underground? Is that something that you would like to show up and take part in?
For sure. I know I'll end up over there. It'll probably end up me versus Shayna in Underground one of these days, and I'd happily give her a little TKO action.
Is that an official challenge? Are you right now laying it down saying you want to face Shayna Baszler at Raw Underground?
Listen, I'll face anybody anytime, but like I said, I'm going after championship gold. So if I have time in my very, very busy and productive schedule to squeeze Shayna in, sure.
All right, so that leads me to SummerSlam coming up in a little over 2 weeks. What are your plans for SummerSlam? Can we expect a match with Mandy, or are you looking ahead at that championship gold? We got the Triple Brand Battle Royal coming up on SmackDown. Is that something you're planning on taking part in?
To be honest, I thought the little haircut was going to leave Mandy down and out for good, but clearly she's a feisty little thing, and she actually put up I'll say, decent fight last week. So I guess I have to finish the job. I should have put the nail in the coffin when I had the chance, when I first had her. But, I guess I just have to finish the job now so that I can move on to bigger and better things. So, yeah, Mandy wants it at SummerSlam. I mean, let's go. Let's see if she shows up this week first, though.
All right, fair enough. Sonya, I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to the future for you.
Thank you. Take care.